Woohoo! Are you stressed? Are you stressed? Especially now after the holiday, right? So many people are stressed, especially because they just spent time with family. But that is really when you're supposed to relax. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how to use your money to reduce your stress. Are you ready? Are you excited? Yeah, just say yes. Just say yes. In fact, say yes to whatever I ask you to do. Say yes. When I ask you a question, the answer should always be yes. All right. I'm glad we had this conversation. Now, I got to give you a little housekeeping. Remember, I said it's the holidays, right? So I'm in an Airbnb with my family. And usually when we have conversations, it's really quiet. It's just you and I. Not today. Today, we have company. Now, I don't think anybody's going to come in because I kind of close the door and they know I'm down here, but I'm in the basement and they're above me. So if you hear some ruckus, because there's some kids up there, then know that it is not like it's nothing I can do about it. So just stay focused, stay with me. But you have kids, you know how they are. They listen for like 1 minute and then they go off to do something that you didn't want them to do. So anyways, if you hear noise above me or around me, just know I'm sorry. It's the kids. All right. So let's get into it. What's stressing you? Tell me in the comments. Tell me what has been stressing you. I'm going to share with you what's been stressing me. And I want you to share with me what's been stressing you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to use money to reduce your stress. Because I know society told you money can't buy happiness. Money can't buy love. Money can't buy anything but like cars and clothes and chicks, right? Sex. That's what I mean by chicks. So let's clear that right up. But there's some other things that money can buy that can actually make you happy or bring you happiness. So, hey, Ronald, thanks for joining. So I want us to talk about it today. But first, tell me, what is causing you stress? Now, I polled 1,000 men, and the answers that I got, the hardworking men are stressed because they're trying to make more money this year than they did last year. And they might be trying to compete with others. They might be trying to make more money than their neighbor because their neighbor just put an addition on their house or bought a new car. And so they're trying to keep up. They also are stressed about their relationship. They feel like they love their wife. They just got to do something to get her to understand it. She can't seem to understand. I'm doing all of this for you, lady. Am I right? You are stressed because somehow you can't seem to get it right. You can't seem to make that woman happy. And we'll talk about that later. That's a whole nother live. But if you stay with me, if you join the experience, which I'm going to tell you how to do that later, I'm going to tell you how to make that woman happy. Yes, I am. And yes, I have the answers. We're going to talk about everything. In the private club, we're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about money. You know we're going to talk about money if I'm there. And we're even going to talk about the Me Too movement. Do you have an opinion about the Me Too movement? Well, in the club, you can actually talk about it and nobody's going to judge it because it's only between us. And I won't let the public in because it's a private club for me and you, just the high achievers that can speak what's on their mind because they're not sensitive, right? Who can be honest without penalty. Thank you, Alexis, for joining. Hey, so who else is out there? Put in the comments what stresses you out. I want to know because if I know, I can help you. Hey, Tara's on. Hey guys, give Tara some love. Thanks, Tara, for being here because she's going to help me make sure that you are taken care of. So guys, let's talk about it. How do you use your money to get stressed? Now, I am here with you for about, I would say 20, 30 minutes because there's a lot going on above me, family and all of that. I can't stay for long and I know you can't either. And some of you are at work. Right? Am I right? If you're at work, well, guess what? I'm at work too. This is work. I mean, it's fun. I love my work, but it's work. Tara's at work. So we're all at work. It's okay if you're at work. Don't stress about it. You just got to love what you do. And I'm going to tell you in the club how you do that. But today, in this live video, we're going to talk about how to use money to reduce your stress, to manage your stress. Because stress in and of itself is not necessarily a bad thing. Because stress fuels you sometimes. It pushes you to keep going, to get that next better position, to build that company a little bit bigger, to hire that next employee. Yeah, stress fuels you. Stress and anxiety are not bad. Let's get that straight. And if you did think that, I'm glad we had this conversation because I want to clear that up for you. Stress and anxiety are not bad in and of themselves. Now, if I tell you that right outside this door are 3 pit bulls and you don't have a little bit of stress, I'm concerned now who I'm in the room with. But if I tell you that the 3 pit bulls are puppies that were born 3 days ago and you are stressed, now I'm concerned about the person I'm in the room with, because 3 pit bulls, 1 level of stress. You probably should figure out, do these windows open? Like, where's the other door? How do I get out of here without going past these 3 vicious pit bulls? But if they're 3 puppies that were just born 3 days ago and you're still stressed, then, yeah, there's a challenge there, and we need to work on that. So I want you to understand that a certain amount of stress is okay. So that's first. If you haven't given yourself permission to be a certain amount of stress, start today. Put that down, write it down, memorize it, whatever you need to do, but just know that a certain amount of stress is okay. So you need to share that with your loved ones, especially your wife, and you say, babe, a certain amount of stress is okay. It's beneficial. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Tara. It helps you. It fuels you. It keeps us going so we can get to that vacation, so we can really enjoy our time off. So speaking of vacations and time off, I want to talk to you about using your money to reduce stress. First, I want you to stop buying things. Stop buying things that don't create happiness for you. A lot of times we're just buying things because, one, it's new, and you want to be the first to get it. Second, because you're like, oh, I want to upgrade the thing I already have that you're probably not even using. So if you use it on a regular basis, I'm not talking about that thing. If it warms your heart every time you get it, get into it, I'm not talking about that thing. I'm talking about that thing that sits on your shelf that you never even look at, like a book. Like it basically should be a book because it's on your shelf and it's doing nothing. And you haven't even read it. Yeah, now that's a metaphor. I hope you get where I'm going with that, because most of the time my metaphors land, but every once in a while they don't. But you see what I'm saying? It's sitting on your shelf. It's doing nothing. Don't buy another one of those. And when I say another one of those, I don't mean that exact same thing. I mean the thing of the way it makes you feel. It doesn't make you feel anything. It doesn't make you feel anything when you look at that emptiness of money you just been spending. No, it doesn't. And in fact, if it makes you feel anything, it makes you feel stressed and guilty. And you're like, why did I do that? Buyer's remorse. Stop buying things unless they warm your heart. Unless they warm your heart. Now, I know many of you have passions. We talked about this last video. If you didn't see the last video, you need to watch it, because we talk about meaning, purpose, passion, and the difference between the 3. So, because if you've ever been confused as to what your purpose is, what your meaning is, what your passion is, I clear it up in that video. So you need to watch that. And we'll put something in the comments later, so a link to that video so you can watch it. But let me tell you, go through your bank statements or your credit card statements, and I want you to highlight what warmed your heart when you bought it. Ooh, yeah, that warmed my heart. I got a friend on here right now. I know a Stingray that would warm his heart every time. Am I right? And so if there's something that warms your heart, then get it. And I want you to highlight it. Like, have two highlighters. One that represents the things that warm your heart, and the other color that represents the things that don't warm your heart. And I want you to go through your bank statements. Now, when you pay your electric bill, I know that sometimes frustrates you because it's $300 and you're like, I wasn't even home. It's okay. It's okay. Does it warm your heart to have electricity, television, lights? It's good. It's a good thing. And if you have an electric stove, it might even feed you. Now, I love a gas stove. And so paying my gas bill, it is nothing for me to pay. Now, I don't always have a gas stove. I do currently, which I am so happy about. You're talking about bringing meaning to my life. A gas stove brings so much meaning. I'll post a picture for you guys in my gas stove because you know I love to cook. And cooking on a gas stove is just something about it. It's just so much different than cooking electric. Ask any chef. They'll tell you. So I digress. I know. But I'm talking about what warms my heart. And you're like, I want to talk about what warms my heart. Thank you. Thanks for bringing me back. Tell me, put it in a comment. What warms your heart? What was the last thing you bought that warmed your heart? Now I want to hear from everybody because everybody on here has spent some money, has bought something. And if the last thing you bought that warmed your heart, you don't remember it, did it warm your heart? I guess we have to say no. No, it didn't. Maybe for a second, but that's not what I'm talking about. And you know that's not what I'm talking about. So if we're not talking about that, then what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're talking about those things that no matter how many times you use it, you're just like, I am so glad I bought this. Like this freaking light that's right above me because this light. Can we talk about this light? I'm just saying. Oh yeah, these earbuds. Every single time they were a gift, I didn't buy them. But if I had bought them, I would be so happy that I did. This t-shirt. I love this t-shirt. Every time I wear it, it's probably like the 50th time I wear it. I know how many times have you seen it, right? But I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl that wears things once. No, I'm wearing them until they like, okay, Kanae, it's time for a new one. I love my clothes and I look good in them. So I'm wearing them. I'm not wearing them once. That's ridiculous. That brings you stress because now you got to figure out what you're wearing again to the next thing. My grandma said, wear the same thing, just wear your hair different. Now for men, I know that can be difficult. But figure it out. Maybe you wear a hat. Yeah, maybe you wear a hat. Men, I've seen some men in hats. I love a man in a hat. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a baseball cap, like a skull cap, like all those like kangaroo. I love a man in a hat. Hats are just super cool to me. I digress again, but just stay with me. And thanks for bringing me back. Okay, so let's see. Amy, thank you. What warms your heart? Yeah, what warms your heart? Whatever warms your heart. And Amy says a super fast portable charger. Oh, yeah. Did you buy that? Man, I got to get one of those. Yeah, because I need my power. Power is important. Charge is important. This phone is my life and my business, and I am not ashamed of it. In fact, I encourage you to do business on your phone so you can move around. You don't have to be stuck to your desktop. So I said, stop buying things that don't warm your heart. So I need to give you a start, right? What do you do instead of buying things that don't warm your heart? You make memories. Yes, you make memories. Memories with your money. Do something adventurous. Like we rented this Airbnb. This is the first time we ever did this. Now, let me tell you, it started a little rocky. I would be honest with you. It was a little rocky, but it was the best thing ever. We had so much fun. My brother and I had the coolest conversation that ended in a hug. Now, my brother's very affectionate, so that's not surprising that a conversation ends in a hug with him. He's a very passionate man. But our conversation was so freaking deep. I was like, my brother gets me. This is so freaking cool. So I'm just saying, make memories. We spent money on this Airbnb. You got the whole place. It's like 5 bedrooms. You know, everybody has their space. Some people doubled up. Kids here. It's so cool. Love it. Love it. So I'm saying, create memories. Start creating memories. And you guys are pretty quiet today. So I'm going to ask you, what was the last memory you created? I just told you mine. I am sharing. I am being vulnerable with you. I need you to be vulnerable with me. I mean, I won't hurt you. If you're vulnerable with me, I know how to protect your heart. I love you. I do. And I think you don't know that. So I need to be clear on that. I love you. I do. And I'm so glad you're here. You have no idea. You wake me up in the morning. Speaking of waking up in the morning, next time, tomorrow, we're going to talk about what keeps you up at night. Because it's really hard to wake up in the morning when you've been up all night. And that stress is keeping you up at night. And let me tell you what makes me go to sleep at night is knowing that I'm going to wake up and hang out with you. because you fuel me. You are who I do all of this for. When I see a hardworking man who's stressed out, I'm like, I got to shut that stress down. Let me go to work. And that, it brings me so much joy. So I said, stop buying things and start making memories. Now, I also want you to do something else. I want you to stop donating to everything. I know, because you have some money, everybody comes to you and they're like, can you buy this? My kid's selling this. Can you donate to that? Stop donating to everything. Oprah tells this story of how she used to just give money when she first became a millionaire. People would come to her because she was a millionaire. And so she would just give. Everybody said they had a cause, they had a thing. She would just write a check. And then she eventually was like unfulfilled. What am I doing? She's just writing checks. So I'm just saying, stop taking care of everything. Everything. You can't be all things. You can't serve every single cause out there. So if you're going to stop writing checks to, I said writing checks. I was just dating myself. Nobody write no checks. It's don't happen on the app, right? So if you are donating money to all kind of causes, I want you to stop. And I know you're about to say, Kanae, that's crazy. You got to donate to the people, the kids, the animals, the stuff. Yes, somebody does. Somebody whose heart is warmed by the animals, the kids, the water, whatever it is. What warms your heart? So start finding a cause if you don't already have one. Now, you know me, in October, I talk about financial abuse, and it is very closely related to domestic violence. And I've told my story. My biological father was abusive when my mom and dad were married years ago. He's since changed, quite talented man, not that way anymore. But that was my mom's experience. And she left that relationship, and that meant a whole different life for me. If she stayed, that would have been a whole different life. It's a possibility that I would not be here with you today because I wouldn't have had the same experiences that I had. So I couldn't bring this stress management system to you, this presidential experience that I'm going to introduce you to in just a few minutes. So that's my cause: domestic abuse, financial abuse. They go hand in hand because it's really financial abuse, but because it's so connected to domestic abuse, those are the two. Now, there are one or two others that I will give some money to because maybe a friend of mine, like a really, really, really close friend of mine, it warms her heart or his heart, and I know it. So I just love to see my friends warm. The heart's warmed. I do. So every once in a while, I'll give a little extra. Plus, when you have a cause, you usually are going after people that you spend time with and you're asking them to donate. And so you kind of have to reciprocate. So I know I said don't donate to everything, but you need to pick your cause. And then you're going to pick a person or two who you care about and you're going to support their cause. It might be your wife. It might be your best friend. It might be your assistant. It could be your neighbor. Doesn't matter. Just pick a person or two and donate to their cause. But first, know your cause. And if you don't already know, like maybe it's water, you're cleaning up the water. I watched this really cool documentary about Finland and how they cleaned up the water because it was like 4 tons of trash in the water, which is really, really sad. And it was affecting like the whales and all kinds of stuff, right? No, I did not donate to it, but I watched this documentary that was sort of a donation and about how this happened. So maybe water, maybe cleaning up the water, maybe animals. Maybe you really want, and maybe it's a specific animal. Maybe it's a really rare tiger somewhere. Whatever it is, find it and love it and support it and put your energy behind it. Because when you do that, you reduce stress because the focus is no longer on all that stuff that's holding you down. The focus is on something bigger than you, the tigers, the whales, the whole freaking ocean. The ocean is bigger than you. I know, I'm just blowing your mind today. You're like, what? Ocean's bigger than me? Yeah, it is. It's like massive. Yeah, I know. Okay, I want to give you one more point, and then I want to tell you something. So how you can reduce your stress every single day. How would that feel? If you can reduce your stress every single day, if you can manage your stress every single day, every single day. Now, tomorrow, we're really going to get down into this. So if you got something to do at 10 o'clock tomorrow, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time, I say move it, and be here. Okay? All right. I will see you tomorrow to talk about what's keeping you up at night. Because what I know about stressed out men is that they can't sleep. Yeah, I know that for sure. And that is why I do this work, so that you can sleep at night. Because the more sleep you get, the better you're going to be for everybody. Your attitude is better. Your nutrition is better. Your whole life is better when you sleep. I love sleep. It is my favorite thing. Now, you would think that meant I slept 10 hours. I don't. 6, 7, that's all I need. But I get my 6, 7. And I don't play. I'm vigilant about my sleep. Anybody I date, any friends of mine, all the children, they know she's got to go to sleep. I don't play. Like when we got here to this Airbnb, they were up talking and blah, blah, blah. And I put my earplugs in, I put my mask on, and I went my butt to sleep. It was 11, which was already past my bedtime. But I am vigilant about my sleep. And I want you to be vigilant about your sleep. I want to show you how you can manage your stress so you can sleep better. I'll do that tomorrow. But today, I have one more point for you. Stop following. Did I scare you? Stop following. Stop following. Stop following. It's a bunch of stuff happening in the world. And you're just like following the news, running down those rabbit holes. Stop following. Stop following everything. Stop following everybody in their social media feed. Stop following. Stop following things that don't warm your heart. Stop following. I don't care if it's the news. I don't care if it's your feed. I don't care if it's your neighbor. Stop following your neighbor. Stop following. You are too high achiever to be a follower. And I know what you're thinking, Kanae, but I'm a leader. You are. So start acting like one. So why are you following? That's what happens. You're a leader that follows. You're out of place. You're in the wrong place. What are you talking about? Why are you in a place where you're the follower when you really are a leader? So when you lead, you can create. You create. You are a visionary. Lead. Stop following. And I know what you're thinking. I didn't even know I was following. Yep, you are. I'm sorry to break that news to you. Yeah. So when the news comes on and you watch that same story 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, turn off CNN and turn on the Disney Channel where there's always a happy ending. It's stressful. Constant negative news. That's what CNN stands for. Something like that. And if it's always constantly negative news, how are you going to reduce your stress? Especially if you're following those stories all the way through and they never end. They just go on and add to a new story. They're like, this just in. And okay, here's the update. And then drop that story. Hey, this just in. Okay, here's the update. Drop that story. This just in. Okay, here's the update. You see, you never actually get to the resolution where the happy ending happens, like in the Disney Channel. So turn on Disney Channel. And I'm joking, you don't have to turn on Disney Channel. You can watch, I don't know, whatever you like to watch. Don't ask me because I am not a TV watcher. So I can't even name. I know I can name like Game of Thrones because everybody talks about it. And like, that's all I got. We were watching Jack Ryan this weekend or this week. Oh my God, I love that show. All right, anyways. Find something that you can see through the end. Follow all the way through the end that has a happy ending. Stop following people's social media feeds that make you feel bad. If you're scrolling through social media, that person makes you feel bad. It's you. It's your stuff. Let's be real clear. It's not them. Don't blame it on them. It's your stuff. But just delete them. Stop following them if they make you feel bad. Because you can't. It's adding to your stress. So control the controllables. That's another thing that we talk about in the experience. We talk about controlling the controllable. That's our number one conversation. The thing I talk about this the most is controlling the controllable. That will change your life, especially when I tell you the 10 ways to control the controllable. There are 10 steps you're going to take to control the controllable, and you can't do it by yourself. Why? Because if you could, you would have already done it. So you need to do it with me, and I will see you in the club. And let me tell you how to join me in the club. I put a link in the description, but somebody's going to type a link into the comments for you. And it is joinpresidentialexperience.com. Now let me tell you all about Presidential Experience. Before I tell you that, I want to ask you one more time, what is stressing you out? Now, you could be watching this replay. And if you are, I still want you to answer that question. What is stressing you out? Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being present. And that is the experience you want to have and you will have on a daily basis when you join the presidential experience. You get connection. You don't just connect with me, but that's one big advantage of the presidential experience. You get to connect with me. I will be there with you every time you join, every time you go on to have a discussion topic, every time we go live monthly. I'll be there with you. I'll interview experts. I am going to interview experts that are going to answer your questions live, real time, so you can turn your money into meaning, manage your stress. Thank you for putting that in the notes, in the comments. Now put in the comments what's stressing you out. Yes, you too. Yes, you. Thank you. You are stressed. I know this. It could be because you're trying to make more money. We're going to talk about money in the experience. We're going to talk a lot about money. We'll talk about Bitcoin. We'll talk about, cryptocurrency, period. We're going to talk about a lot of alternative investments, silver, gold. We'll talk about the stock market. We'll talk about saving, earning, growing, protecting, gifting, enjoying your money. We'll talk about all of that. We're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about how to make that woman happy. We're going to talk about how to make you happy. How you can articulate to your woman how she can make you happy. How you can articulate to your children how you can be more present, more patient, more loving, more kind to your children. How you can take that why, your why, you know that why. You know when you're like, I do this for my kids, but then you hardly ever see them because you're always out doing the thing. Well, I'm going to show you how you can do that. How you can do this for your kids and be present with them. They miss you. I had a friend, and he's actually part of the presidential experience now, but when this happened, he was not. Well, the presidential experience didn't exist, but let me tell you the story. So he was going to work early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes not getting home to 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight. He wasn't seeing his daughter. He was getting 4 hours of sleep, waking up, going back to work. Most of the time, he felt like he had to. Like if he didn't show up, then somebody else was going to get the promotion. And he ran a team. He worked corporate, but he ran a team and worked for one of the big banks. So it's always something happening at big banks, and they're global. So there was always a reason to be at work. And he found it every single time. But he said he was doing this for his kids. But was he? Or was he doing it for the manager? Or was he doing it for the next promotion? Or was he doing this to one up his coworker? Or was he doing it because he just didn't know what else to do? Until one day, his daughter said, Daddy, why don't you love me anymore? Broke his heart. He's like, what are you talking about? I love you. What are you talking about? And she was like, you're never here. I never see you. Are you avoiding me, Daddy? What? No, he was not. He was doing all of this for her, but he wasn't there. Where was he? He was at work. Was it adding any value to his life? Was it helping him turn his money into meaning? No. In fact, everything that meant something to him was at home. He was leaving it behind to go do that work. So he had to make a change, and he did. And he's going to talk to you about that change he made in the experience. He's going to tell you the whole story, because I just told you a snippet. He's going to tell you the whole story of what happened with he and his daughter. He's going to tell you how he made that change. And he's going to tell you that he and his wife are still high income earners. They're still high achievers. But they don't burn themselves out at work for somebody else. They do what they want to do with their children. Now, it doesn't mean they're not still putting forth a lot of effort. Heck yeah, they are. But it's strategic. And there's sacrifice, yes, but there is no suffering. And especially not those babies. Those babies are not suffering. And they're not babies anymore. But they're not suffering. They're very happy girls. So, how do you want life to be for you? Do you want to spend all your time stressed out at work? Or Would you love it if you could spend more time with your family, creating those memories that we talked about? If you could spend time volunteering for those causes that you believe in, if you could be an example, a leader, a servant leader that can show your employees this is how it's done. Thank you for that, love. I appreciate that. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. And that's what we teach in the experience. That is what we teach in the presidential experience. And if you have not experienced what it's like to have a group or a private conversation with me, oh my gosh, you don't know what you're missing out on. Your life will change. Yes, it will. It will. I have no doubt about how I can change your life. That is not something I doubt. I wake up in the morning knowing how much I can change your life. I go to sleep knowing in the middle of the day, I can brush my teeth and know I can change your life. That is what I do. I change lives. If you want your life to change, then you need to hang out with me more, and you need to do it in the presidential experience, because that's where I am. So I'm in your world right now. If you want to come into my world, I'm inviting you, because it doesn't have to be lonely at the top. You can take people with you, and I'm taking you with me. I encourage you to invite some friends, but they better be high achievers, and they better not be sensitive. This is not about empowerment. This is not coaching. This is not a course. It's none of that. So if you're not empowered, if you're not already motivated, you see my shirt, don't get in this club. It's not for you. If you need empowerment, don't get in this club. It's not for you. If you come to tear people down, don't get in this club. It's not for you, because respect is our minimum. We honor each other. Honor. Not respect. That is so little. That's nothing. Respect, you give respect to squirrels. We honor each other. So if you come in here and you're going to be sensitive, we will give you your money back. And speaking of giving you your money back, we have a 30-day money back guarantee. So go ahead and click the link, get all the details of what you're going to get in the presidential experience. Even if you're just in question, like, I'm curious, what is it more about? I told you, we're going to have interviews with experts every single month. You're going to have a conversation with me every single month. And every week, we're going to have a discussion topic. You'll get me, you'll get my team, and you'll get the other members, and we'll all interact, share our experiences, so that none of us have to be lonely. We get the connection, we get the guidance, and we get some serious, fulfilling conversations. Because I'm not a surface person. We will not be talking about the weather. We will not be talking about fly by night. No, we're going deep. So if you're a deep thinker, a deep talker, if you like to have discussions that go deep, then you need to be not just in the experience, you need to engage in the experience. We expect that from you. That's what we expect from you, because that's what we give you. I'm going full out. If you get an experience with me, I'm pouring into you. Everything I've learned over my 20 plus years of working with clients, I am going to serve you. Everything my parents have instilled in me, because my parents were business owners before I was. Everything the universe has given me. And there's some things that I know that I don't even know how I know, and I know them about you, and I can help you, because there's things that you don't know about yourself that you will discover in the experience. And I'm so done right now. Like, I've said enough. It's time for you to click on the link. And you're like, what? But wait, I have questions. I know you have questions. So put them in the comments and I will answer them. So if you have comments, if you have questions, put them in the comments. I will answer them. I'll be back. Even if you're watching this replay, I'll be back. I'll come back here and I'll answer your questions. So put them in the comments. But also join me tomorrow at 10 a.m. Whatever you already have scheduled, reschedule it, because this is going to be good. We're going to talk about what's keeping you up at night. So you want to be there. You want to join the experience. So go ahead, click the link, and I'm going to see you in the club, because right now I got some little kitties I got to go feed. What do you have to do with the rest of your day? Whatever it is, enjoy it, be prosperous, have an experience, create some memories. I am so glad we had this conversation, and we can have more when you join the experience. I'll see you sooner.